All right. Let's make sure we have everybody here. I don't see Victoria as of yet. I do see a few people who have joined. I just want to say hello to everybody. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Can we just take another 30 seconds to allow a few more people to log on? Then we'll formally begin.
Hi, Mariam, it's Wangani here. Can you hear us?
Yes, hello, Wangani. Hello, yes, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm sitting with Veronica, and unfortunately, I'm supposed to be on another call, but I had committed to just join the first 5 minutes. But I must say, I struggled to log in, register through the information that was sent. So maybe many of the participants could actually be facing the same challenge. I just had to ask Veronica to join me. So could be one of the reasons.
Okay, well, the link and the password are there, but let me do a quick check to see if any participants are struggling.
Yeah, because I registered, and then when it takes you to log in, your name is there and you put the passcode, and it wasn't letting me come through. But others have used the same and it has worked. So something maybe it's not sitting right somewhere.
Okay, all right, just give me 30 seconds. I know you have to get going in just a moment. Just checking with participants to see if they're struggling.
Sorry, Marian and colleagues, I'm using Camelia's laptop because mine has decided to reboot. So we are sharing the meantime until I graduate to my own.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Victoria, would you like to begin then? Because we do have a very tight time crunch today. And in the meantime, I'll just be here in the background. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, colleagues, I just want to welcome you to this meeting. I call it a meeting, almost like a family meeting for the KIX Africa 19 Hub. It's been quite a long time since we met. I think we last met at the symposium last year. So let me say Happy New Year, just in case, and it's belated, but I also want to thank you so much for creating the time to join us today. And I want also to welcome the colleagues from the consortium partners, UNICEF, SRO, AUC, and also Patrick from IDRC, plus other partners that you're working with. So you are welcome, colleagues, to this session. And a special welcome to all our KIX Africa 19 partners, focal points at the different ministry levels. So I'll be very brief and probably wind it up in 1 minute, that on behalf of the consortium partners and also for UNESCO ICBA, we just want to wish you a beautiful meeting today. And we hope that we can be able to validate together our planned activities for this year and also strengthen our partnerships, as well as I believe we'll have a good understanding on the various communication channels and that we are going to be presenting to you, and also think through how best we can engage with the KIX Regional Observatory on Education Systems Resilience. So with those few remarks, I really want to wish you all the best in this meeting, and may we all have fun as we discuss. Thank you so much. Over to you, Marianne.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I think now we'll have a short introduction by some of our colleagues who are here today. I know that many of you are quite familiar with each other, but I think it's good that we say hello and we hear from those of our guests who are part of the technical and organizing committees. So if I could ask Patrick to go first from IDRC, and then we'll move over to UNICEF.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay, yeah,
yes.
sorry, I was getting an error message regarding my audio. Yeah, my name is Patrick Walugembe. I work with IDRC. I work as Senior Program Officer, and I work alongside the A19 team. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Wangani, would you like to go?
Yes, thank you. And because I'm really pressed for time, if you could allow me to introduce myself and just say a few words so that I can jump off for another meeting, which they're expecting me to chair. My name is Wangani Grace Taulo, and I'm the Regional Education Advisor for UNICEF East and Southern Africa, which is one of the three members of the consortium with UNESCO and also the African Union, and very grateful, of course, to the partnership with IDRC that really helps us to push this agenda forward. And we've come from quite far, and over the years, I think our agenda has become much more clearer and even much more imminent, especially given the current times and everything that the global dynamics that are actually happening. So we're really grateful that we are part of this really noble consortium and look forward to the conversation of today, and very much also want to thank the focal points in the different countries where we work, who actually make this happen, without whom we wouldn't be able to deliver any of the critical cutting edge work that we're actually doing across the region. So thank you, and I hope we're going to have a wonderful conversation. Unfortunately, I cannot stay, but Elaine, my colleague, and also Veronica are going to stay on, and I look forward to the key takeaways, but also maybe the recording, which I can listen to at a later stage. But thank you very much. Over to you, Mariam.
Thank you so much, Wangani. I wonder if we have a Dumter here in the room. I don't see his name. Jaji, is he there with you? I don't see his
No,
name
Adumta is not
separately.
here, unfortunately.
All right.
But he
Would you like to
sends
go next, Jaji?
yeah, Adumta sends my video. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lukman Jaji. I work for the African Union, and I'm the focal officer for KIX at the AU. We're very happy to be here. Unfortunately, Adumta is in another engagement, which unfortunately he couldn't cancel. But he sends his greetings, and he's instructed me to inform that the African Union, of course, is always paid to engage with the countries, and we would like to thank our other partners, UNESCO and UNICEF, and of course, with the magnificent support that we've been receiving from IDRC over the years to continue to support our countries in strengthening national data education management and information, as well as usage systems, which we are using KIX as the platform to support countries on that. So we look forward to having a fruitful conversation. We look forward to hearing from the countries on how best to support them. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaji. And I'd like to now call on Ellen and Veronica to go next, and then we'll end with the ICBA team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hélène Cron, education specialist working closely with Wangani, so based in Nairobi for Eastern and in UNICEF for Eastern and Southern Africa. And I'm happy to be the KIX focal point within UNICEF ESARO. Over to you, Veronica.
Thank you, Helen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Veronica Wangoi, working closely with Helen in the KIX project based in SRO, that is the UNICEF Regional Office for Eastern and Southern Africa. Over to you, Marianne.
And I think everyone here probably knows my name. My name is Marianne, and I help to coordinate the KIX Africa 19 Hub from UNESCO ICBA's side. Could I ask my colleague Yvonne to go next, and then Camelia?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Yvonne Boyer. I'm the Monitoring and Evaluation Consultant with the KIX Africa 19 Hub. Welcome. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Over to Camelia.
Thank you, Eva. Hello, everyone. My name is Camelia. I joined ICBA in October 2024, and I'm the communications lead for KIX 19 Hub. Nice meeting you all online. Back to you, Marianne.
Thanks, Camelia. Bezawit, would you like to go next?
Okay, thank you, Marianne. My name is Besawit. I work for IKPA for KIX project as a data management based in Addis. Thank you.
Thanks, Bezawit. And we have one more KIX colleague with us today. We have Dr. Roy William Mayega, who leads the KIX Observatory, and you'll be hearing from him a little bit later about what he does. But Dr. Mayega, would you like to say hello to the room first?
Yes, hello everyone. Roy William Mayega, as earlier introduced, and I'm the PI for the newly established Africa Education System Resilience Observatory. Very happy to meet you and hope to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, we have there is one new KIX focal point from a ministry. I always like to introduce the new focal points, but I don't see her with us right now. I'm not seeing her name coming up. Rwanda has a new focal point amongst us. And if she's able to join, I will give her the mic and let her say hello. But I think we'll just move on with the agenda right now. So we're going to have a very short, condensed, and focused meeting today. We've gone through our introductions, and now we're going to have a snapshot of 2024, last year, what it looked like visually. Then we'll go on to looking at this year, 2025, what are our goals, what are activities that we're thinking about holding this year for our countries, for you, the partners. And then we'll look at the KIX Observatory. And then we're going to move into a short discussion led by all of you. And you'll each get 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes if there's not a lot of people and if we have time, to share some pressing priorities going on in your countries and give some feedback as to our activities, whether you feel that they're relevant or responsive to your country's needs. So I want to turn it over now. I want to call on my colleague Veronica to take us through a snapshot of last year. Over to you, please.
Thank you, Marianne. It's my pleasure to share with the team today the progress and the impact of the hub in advancing education across Africa in 2024. So the hub is committed to strengthening education across systems through evidence-based policies, peer learning, and capacity building. Next slide, please. So in 2024, the hub achieved significant milestones in fostering research across Africa. And one of the key highlights was the Third Continental Research Symposium on Educational Research in Africa, which was held in Addis Ababa from 20th to 22nd November in 2024. And the symposium brought together all the high-level ministers in education, policymakers, and researchers so as to share innovative solutions and drive education transformation in Africa. Next slide, please. The hub also facilitated a Kenya-Lesotho exchange visit on disability inclusive education. This was a follow-up of a visit that was conducted in Kenya, where 5 countries were involved. During these visits, the countries were able to share and learn from each other's best practices. Next slide. The hub also supported in facilitating a national policy dialogue in Eswatini, which was convened by the Ministry of Education and government officials to discuss and refine national education strategy. Next slide. In addition to this, the hub also supported capacity building work. In Ethiopia, the hub supported and strengthened for teacher policy development, that equipping the policymakers with the tools to enhance teacher recruitment, training, and also retention strategies for teachers. Lastly, to the last slide. In addition, the hub's commitment to knowledge sharing continues through ongoing online learning and participant-driven knowledge, which ensure that every country benefits from emerging research and also regional expertise. And with this, the hub is committed to remain dedicated to strengthening education systems and fostering collaboration, innovation, and also evidence in policy making. So we look forward to hearing from you to ensure that the collective efforts of the hub will help us to improve learning outcomes for all children in Africa. Over to you, Marianne.
Yes, thank you so much, Veronica. And I hope that you're seeing, everybody, that the pictures that are in the slideshow are pictures of you, of the hub. And I can't stress this enough, but the hub is you. The hub is the collection of people, of focal points, of you, all of you who choose to participate in our activities. So thank you for the overview of last year. I'd like to now ask Yvonne to go ahead and look at this year. And please, Yvonne, feel free to just call on the next speaker. No need to pass it back to me to save time. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Marianne, and good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Please allow me to put off my video. I'm really struggling with the connection, so I hope that is okay. So for what are our goals for 2025? The first one is to foster country engagement and ownership of the hub. And what we are looking forward to is that we will see you telling us more of what you want to be done within the hub. And we keep saying that the hub is not about Marianne, it is not about Yvonne or about Victoria or Jaji. The hub is you. You are the ones who own the hub, and we should be able to tell us which direction you want us or you want the hub to move towards. The second goal is to enhance the capacity of member states to revitalize the education systems through demand-driven knowledge exchange, innovation, and cross-country learning and collaboration. We do understand our limitation as a hub. We do not operate at the country level, but what we can do is to provide opportunities for each member to learn, and then we expect that this learning will be taken back to the country, that will be able to share broadly within your country, and later on we'll be seeing some of the outcomes that we're hearing following hub activities. But ideally, we look forward to enhancing the capacity of member states on areas that you have requested us to. And then also synthesize and share knowledge and evidence to inform knowledge agenda for equitable, inclusive education. We've noted that every time we have an activity, a learning event, be it capacity building, be it a knowledge exchange, we will always ask you to share what is working within your countries, because we believe that the knowledge is there. We do not have something that is working that we'll bring from elsewhere. This knowledge is within us, within the countries, and all we ask is that you keep sharing with each other, and that we keep learning from each other so that we can improve our practices back in our home countries. Next slide. So what we would love to know is if you use or share an idea that you learned about during any KIX activity, or if any policy or practice you found out about from another country inspires you to do something within your country, or if you network with or speak with an expert because of a KIX activity, we'd really love to hear this from you. We do things, or we organize activities, we organize capacity building, we organize knowledge exchange, we organize peer reviews, but we are not at the country level. We are not able to tell what else you do with this information. But there's a lot happening at the country level. And recently, currently there's an ongoing evaluation, and a lot of good things are being said within the KIX Africa 19 hub, some of which we are not aware because you have not informed us. So what we're asking is that you inform us of what is happening within the countries. We'll give a good example here of Malawi, where the Malawi ministry informed us of having increased funding for accessible teaching and learning materials for learners with disability from that much to that, from about 675 million to about 1 billion Malawian kwacha. So this is something that we came to learn about simply because the focal point from Malawi was able to share with us. So we're not saying that we are coming to do activities within your country or that we're coming to give funds to your country, but through the activities that happened, like through the visit to Kenya that happened, Malawi was able to advocate more for more funding because of what they're seeing, learning from other countries. They go back home, they advocate. So we are contributing, be it in a very small way, be it 1%, 10%, but that small way in which we contribute to, we'd really appreciate if you can get back to us and tell us, hey, this is happening, and KIX contributed in some way. Next slide, Marianne. Thank you so much. So I'll just invite Helen to talk to us about the planned activities for this year. Over to you, Helen.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. And thank you for picking this very good example from Malawi. Just to say that actually this conversation that we had where our colleagues from Malawi shared actually this good news, follow-up a visit that the Malawi team has done in Kenya, where they have learned about how Kenya is actually allocating funding for disability inclusive education. So it was very like a good practice, for the focal points to share actually the impact, in the longer term. So for 2025, so what we aim to do, and again, this is proposed activities that we are presenting, and we would be very happy to have, your feedback later on, and happy to also adjust in case you feel that you have more creative ideas. So we, of course, are proposing some activities related to capacity building. We are proposing activities related to opportunity for learning from each other, knowledge mobilization, knowledge sharing, how to support generating evidence and research, creating tools and framework to support agenda at country level. Next slide. The idea is also to support national dialogues and also how you, in the government, you can also bring together other stakeholders and move the agenda. For 2025 in particular, for now, we have defined a series of activities, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. But we have also other open activities that we will also be happy, for you to actually propose. So we will in Q1 resume or start a couple of learning series, particularly on innovation in CPDs related to ECE scalability framework that has been developed last year, on good practice related to ECE, but also resuming the community of practice that has been set up on gender responsive education. And we have invited also in March a series of consultation with KIX grantees implementing applied research project that we want to interact and see how we can actually serve them, making sure that we are identifying interaction, but also opportunity for disseminating the findings to you, to the 19 countries part of this hub. In Q2, we also would like to start a new community of practice in terms related to teacher education and CPD, but also building capacities on disability inclusive education, looking at supporting teacher, teaching children with learning disabilities, as well as reasonable accommodation for children with disability to take exams. Supporting the setting up of the Knowledge Cafe for the 19 countries to learn from each other, but also to learn from EMI's norms and standard, as well as organizing an experiential learning visit on school readiness. Q3, for now, we are planning for disseminating the outcomes of national EMIS reviews and that has been done, as well as supporting national dialogues related to this particular area, continuing also the knowledge cafe and supporting continuing exchanging on good practices related to improving reliable and accurate data from the government. Continuing on building capacities and supporting a workshop on how to support teachers, mental health and well-being, and continuing on any policy dialogues that you feel that in your countries is useful. So again, please come to us with some proposal about a subject that you would like to discuss in countries. Then Q4, we are expecting the support for a fourth KIX Africa Research Symposium. We would like also to meet you in person to also assess where we are in terms of the progress toward the objectives that we have set for KIX 2.0. Continuing the capacity building, particularly we would like to have some KIX countries joining the IIEP course on inclusive education sector planning, as well as also organizing organizing experiential learning visits. Next slide. I think it's yes, on ongoing activities. What we would like to highlight, it's very important for us to make sure that we link the activities of the hub to the GP partnership compact that you have defined in your country. You're going to go through, your government will go through in the next couple of months through the midterm review, and you will have to come together with the stakeholders at national level and come with some evidence of where you are struggling with. And we are happy as the hub to look at any support, but also evidence that we can support you to develop, to support this joint analysis during the midterm review. We are also encouraging you to be engaged and also co-author some communication piece. It's not only the partners of the hub, the consortium partners of the hub that should be involved or put their name on, but happy to also for you to do some analysis and put your name on all those pieces and being more visible. Lastly, maybe one point on the fact that it is very important for us to see you involved in the community of practice. I'm talking about, of course, KIX focal point, but also any of your colleagues that are involved in the different thematic area that we are supporting as a hub, making sure that they keep engaged, but also they keep sharing, any evidence, any evaluation that you are generating, so that it can help other countries. Next slide. And I would like to give the floor to Jaji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Helen, for walking us through all that. Colleagues, I will be telling you about the country support guidelines that we have. I'm sure you must have heard in different forums about the country support that the word we've been throwing around for some time. But it's supposed to be a focused, limited, time-bound tool for select requests for technical assistance on evidence generation, analysis, or uptake, which is beyond or outside of the traditionally planned activities that we've had with you. If you feel that you need to make a special request for direct support on specific areas relating to evidence generation and analysis or uptake, you could do that. And then we are saying that before you can access this country support, of course, there needs to be a clear posted concept notes from the Ministry of Education on the nature of support, when the support is wanted and what are the expected outcomes of such support and the impact, of course, it will have on evidence generation and analysis or uptake. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we've been having discussions with some of you that we are aware of, and this, of course, has given us some kind of clear picture on the kinds of supports that will be provided for those that have requested, For the first quarter, of course, there is the commencement of the virtual exchange for Lesotho and Zambia on developing a CPD framework and improving management of teachers, and then support for Lesotho in developing a CPD framework. These are the country support processes that have been received for quarter one. For quarter two, there is a planned Malawi support mission to South Sudan on ending sRGBV pilots and policy. There is also ongoing discussions around EMIS for Liberia and Rwanda on peer reviews and dialogues. And then there is support to develop a school-based CPD model in districts in Eritrea. There is supports national action plans to scale up cost-effective practices to improve access to early childhood education. And then for the third quarter, it's planned that there will be capacity strengthening workshop for 6 countries on CPD frameworks and teacher management. Of course, there is EMIS peer reviews as well in Sierra Leone and South Sudan. And then there is Kenya to support Lesotho on inclusive teacher training and education. The last quarter of the year would be then to support an annual national conference on EMIS in Nigeria. There will be country gender analysis for Lesotho and 2 others to be determined. And then there is that to develop strategies for education spending in Tanzania. I think I would like to pass the floor now to Camelia to walk us through the knowledge platforms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaji. I would like to take 2 minutes to share with you the resources we have on the KIX 19. Indeed, we do have a KIX 19 knowledge platform, which is located in the ICBA website, and I'll share with you the link in the chat and also in the WhatsApp group. Within the platform, we will share the upcoming events, such as the upcoming webinar tomorrow on CPD for teachers, as well as a digital repository, as you can see the screenshot here, which hosts the KIX-related resources, as well as thematic resources on the 4 priority areas of KIX. Also, we have country pages, which compiles documents for the 19 countries and beyond with useful data, as well as repository and resources related to the 4 priority areas. Also, as many of us have addressed, KIX is about you. I would also like to advocate if you could join us in sharing your experience by co-authoring with us for blog posts. For example, last year, we co-authored a blog post on the national dialogue in Eswatini with Dr. Phumsule from Eswatini, and that will be posted on KIX website soon. So you're more than welcome to join us and send me an email if you are interested in sharing your experience. I would like to pass it to Marianne now.
Thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you for the overview, Ellen, of 2025 this year activities. And then thank you, Jaji, for looking at the country support mechanism. We'll be reaching out to some of you very soon to discuss it in more depth. And thank you, Camelia, for the overview on how people can get more involved in the digital platforms. So colleagues, you've heard a bit from us from the KIX Hub. Now I'd like to draw your attention to a new project of GPE KIX. It's the Observatory on Education System Resilience. And I want to call on our colleague, Dr. Roy William Maega, to tell us a bit more about that. To you, please.
Yes. Thank you very much, Marianne. And very happy to meet all of you in the hub, and to have this once in a lifetime opportunity to introduce this new observatory project that is called the Africa Regional Education System Observatory. So ARESRO, IDRC through KIX has issued funding for the establishment of this observatory. It's a virtual observatory and is one of 6 globally. This one is headquartered at Makerere, and it's for Africa. And it's meant to be a one-stop shop source for information on perceptions and practices of education system resilience, The geographical scope is the 42 countries of Africa, and the programmatic scope covers early childhood, primary, secondary education, and teacher training. The project is supposed to take 28 months, started in December 24, and is to run up to March 2027. We already have a logo that you see on that slide. The next slide, please. The objectives of ARESRO, the overall objective is to contribute to improvement in the education system resilience in GPE partner countries in Africa through evidence-informed programming. And the specific objectives are three. First of all, we would like to explore the meanings and practices that are attached to education system resilience in the countries. And two, to explore the potential impact of future shocks and stresses on the education systems of these countries. And then thirdly, to identify potentially effective approaches and planning approaches to address future shocks that are likely to befall the education system. Next slide, please. So this is the distribution of the countries that we are going to work in. Because the countries are many, 42 countries, we've zoned them into 8 sub-zones, as you can see there. 5 main zones, and then some are split in 2 because the countries are quite many. And at the top of each, there's the lead country that is going to lead the sub-regional research efforts. And also in red, we've indicated the universities that are going to lead the initiative. So our primary partners will be in the research process, will be the scholars in the respective universities. So for instance, in Uganda, Makerere University is leading the efforts for those about 5 or 6 countries, University of Addis Ababa, and then in Southern Africa, University of Zambia, and then the University of Malawi, in Central Africa, Université de Yaoundé, and then in West Africa, the Francophone West Africa, quite a number of countries there. So Université Cheikh Anta Diop in Senegal, and then in Mali, Yambo Ologuen University. And then Anglophone West Africa, the studies will be led by the University of Ghana. Next slide, please. So this map just lays out the geographical coverage and then the zoning that this zoning is just to facilitate the sub-regional analysis and research as clustered before. Next slide, please. So our core strategies in 2 tiers. We have the research strategies and the non-research. So in the research, we are going to do context analysis. We are going to do formative assessments, and then we are going to do foresight analysis. And then in the non-research, we are mainly looking at how to organize this large number of countries so that we have a good organizational system for adaptive management. And then very importantly, the stakeholder engagement, because we realize that without disseminating and taking these findings to stakeholders like you, then the entire research we are doing is not useful. So stakeholder engagement, sharing, knowledge sharing, as already the platforms that you have already built are doing, is very crucial to this new initiative. And we hope to have a very strong partnership and to leverage your platforms to be able to share the knowledge that comes out of this work. And then the cross-cutting strategies, including gender equity and inclusion, monitoring and evaluation, and then engaging with the existing community or communities of practice that GPE KIX has already built. Next slide, please. This detailed slide summarizes the different types of research questions that we are going to undertake in the 3 tiers. So starting with the context analysis, we are going to do extensive desk reviews, and these are going to result in 8 sub-regional analyses that cover the 42 GPE partner countries, led by those 8 institutions that I already showed you. And in these ones, we shall be asking how stakeholders define and perceive education system resilience, whether they are concerned about it, and what they are doing in the different contexts in relation to this. And also we start to look at the future, asking them what is changing in their education systems. And then for the formative assessments, we get deeper through key informant interviews and focus group discussions. And this also covers the eight countries that are leading the analysis in the different sub-regions. For the key informants, we are looking at what are the issues now, the shocks, the stresses affecting the education systems, their consequences, the vulnerability factors, and what can be done to address this, and what do they think is a fulfilled education system. And then for the FGDs, they'll focus mostly on the future, trying to do the futures analysis. So the data there will help us to start interrogating things like what is changing in the education systems, positively or negatively, what are the impacts of those changes, and which might be positive or negative, and then what are the futures, the alternative futures that might happen with the things that are changing, and what are our preferred futures. And then we shall do 5 foresight analysis workshops, which are systems thinking workshops in 5 countries, where we take the future analysis further by discussing with stakeholders, trying to vision the futures that they want, and also creating, selecting the actions that contribute to change. Next slide. So the expected deliverables from the context analysis, we hope to have these sub-regional desk review reports looking at the context regarding education system resilience. And then from the formative assessments, we want this deep dive into the resilience issues. So there will be these reports still coming from 8 countries. And then from the foresight analysis, we shall also have these synthesized reports looking at the future trends and what's likely to change in the future, and what are the desired futures for the respective education systems. And then we, of course, have to package these into knowledge translation products that include knowledge briefs, policy briefs, news articles, and we hope to leverage the Africa 19 platform and its sister platform, Africa 21, as a platform for sharing these important findings from this research that will be conducted. So last slide. So thank you very much for the time that you've given us, and the indicated there are the different partners. Makerere University is leading this work, but we are working together with Link Community Development, and we are working also with Dalhousie University in Canada through their Resilience Research Center. And then the other logos are for the partner universities that are spread across Africa, the 8 that are supposed to lead the research initiatives. So thank you so much for this very valuable time, and we hope to get deeper into this Africa 19 platform and leverage all the opportunities to share what we find on the go. Thank you, and thank you for listening. Over to you, Marian.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roy William Mayiga, for that. As you were presenting and speaking, it just struck me that there is so much expertise here in the room and across our organizations that we can connect better, more systematically amongst all of us to bring it forward into the platform of KIX. So this is an invitation to you, to the observatory, as well as to other colleagues who are here today, our focal points first and foremost, as well as those from other organizations, to please come forward if you would like to share something, some evidence, some findings about what's working, or a new policy, something that you feel is worth discussing and sharing with another country. We work at a regional level and we want to connect countries together in ways that maybe wouldn't have been possible otherwise. And also we move beyond dissemination. We're trying to focus on dialogue, discussions, learning. So when we do share knowledge with each other, we take it from a humble bottom-up and horizontal perspective of having discussions about it, engaging with it, instead of instructing or just simply sharing or disseminating, to pass on the knowledge to somebody else, but really forming connections and co-creating knowledge together. So we thank you, Dr. Mayega, and we also thank all the focal points who are here. And now I think it's your time to shine. We have quite a few of you here today, maybe not everybody. Some people have had some issues connecting, I think. But I would first like to introduce a new member of our focal point team. We have Miss Adeya Omolisa here from the Ministry of Education in Rwanda. You are our newest focal point joining the KIX family. Would you like to unmute and introduce yourself and say hello? Miss
Sure,
Adeya or Adia? Yes.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Adia Umudisa, not Adea. So Adia Umudisa, I'm the head of education sector planning, monitoring and evaluation here in Rwanda at the Ministry of Education. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to learning and collaborating more with my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think we should also give a chance to the other focal points. There aren't, it's an intimate group today, so I think we have time for everybody to do a quick round of introductions before we get into the discussion, in which you'll each have a little time to comment on how you feel about the work plan that you saw and what's going on for us this year that you can comment on. So maybe we can just have the focal points. There's about 4 of you here, I think. Just unmute and introduce yourself to the room. Should we have Anne Nagatia from Kenya? Would you like to say hello for a moment? Hello, Anne Nagatia, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, Miriam.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was listening and I'm quite happy to start off the year well on the KIX activities. I want to say that as Kenya, we are happy. We have been involved from the start and we are doing well, joining in a number of projects. And we hope that this year we will also be able to participate actively in all the activities of the hub. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne. Anne, you've been with us from the start, from the project, and you were also one of the first countries to have a dialogue, a national policy dialogue. I think the first country, if I'm not mistaken, in 2021, right as we were shifting the project to more in-person activities after COVID. Thank you, Anne, for introducing yourself. Other focal points who are with us today from ministries. I see we have Mr. Mabor Tour from South Sudan. Would you like to say hello?
Yes, hello. Happy to be here today and the beginning of the new year. Greeting from South Sudan as well as the Ministry of Education. Yes, we are starting the new year. We have some programs and projects being supported, of course, from around the globe. Some came from the World Bank. We have institutional capacity. I don't just wait. Institutional capacity building program being supported by the World Bank as well as teacher education and continuous professional development. is also another programs. And also happy to be with some colleague from African Focal Point and a colleague from IGBA. Other day I was in Addis on e-learning workshop and gender responsive pedagogy, something that we are expecting Jerusalem to continue with it in South Sudan. It's would be one of the programs that will be count. And yeah, we are happy to have a year, and we hope that would be a year of progress this year. We are hoping to have some projects being supported under the KIX as well as some other programs. So thank you so much, and thank you, Marianne.
Thank you so much, Mambor. And you'll have a moment to talk a bit more about those activities happening in your country in just a minute. We're going to have a discussion. So thanks for a little teaser for that. And I think we have another focal point in the room. Dr. Makube from Lesotho, would you like to turn on your camera for a moment and say hello to the room?
Yes, Marian, but unfortunately I'm using the desktop. I don't have my camera with me. But similarly, I'm also highly appreciative and pleased looking at what KIX is ready to offer for us. There's already a lot of activity going on in Lesotho, especially from the GPE, which is aligned to the KIX objectives as they've been just displayed for us there. And like other countries, I think our teams are ready this year to engage even more. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And I see we have Petros from Ethiopia here in the room. Petros, would you like to say hello?
Hello, Marianne. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, all, and I'm happy that we meet again in the new year. In the African 19 Hub, we have learned a lot of things as an Ethiopian. I am one of the witnesses. So UNESCO ECOBA and the journey in the 19 African team as a focal point means for me a different thing that enhances my capacity. And above all the things, we initiated the Ethiopian Teacher Education Policy Development Initiative with ECBA, technical and financial support from ECBA, and we're working on it, of course. By now, we're struggling to move this policy document forward. So we're looking for extra support from UNESCO ECBA. Not only this, there are many initiatives that are in place in Ethiopia today. So in collaboration with the focal points in the 19 African team, I do believe that we'll move them forward. Among others, the teacher training on mental health, social support, special capacity building to reverse the education poverty in our country, and then gender-related agendas are also the many things that we have learned from this platform. And definitely will move them forward in collaboration with the team and the representatives of each country. Thank you so much. Just to say hello.
Thank you very much, Petros, for that. And you've been also a very active member in the Gender COP that we've been holding, the community of practice that we've been holding. So take note of that too. I think we have one more focal point who's with us today. There we have Dr. Valentino Zampita from Malawi. Would you like to say hello to the room?
Thank you very much, Marianne. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Hello, everyone out there. It's a pleasure that in this new year, finally, we've met. I think as a team, it's very important that we are always in touch. Possibly that qualifies KIX, knowledge and innovation exchange. You can't exchange if you are not in touch. From Malawi, we look forward to a successful 2025. I think there are 3 areas that we think we need to do more. One of them is taking inclusive education to the people who deserve it. So there is quite a lot that as a country we are trying to do to make sure that inclusive education is taken to the schools, establishing resource centers and the like. Fortunately, that has been given support from the budget. Government has taken care of that one. Of course, it may not be adequate, but I think we are going to do some substantial work on that one. We would also want to enhance teacher development through trainings, especially in management, teacher leadership and management for head teachers, especially primary school head teachers, heads of department, class teachers, etc. There's quite a lot of work that is done in that area. We are also thinking of strengthening the gender-based violence education, putting in place or strength. We already have structures, but we think it's high time we strengthen those structures to make sure that gender-based violence is brought to the awareness of stakeholders in schools, teachers, parents, the police, and whoever, so that by the end of the day, we fight, together. Of course, this year we also look to more interaction with KIX Secretariat. Just to mention that we are open. Should the Secretariat feel like coming to visit us, we'll facilitate your visas and the like. Of course, there has also been a mention of Malawi maybe supporting South Sudan. It's something that as a country, as a team, we are always available, and we think it's very important that whatever we may be a bit capable of doing, we should be able to take it up to the rest. Maybe for now, I could stop there. Otherwise, it's a pleasure we've met as KIX focal points. Thank you very much, Marianne, and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sampita. Always so positive, always so much to say that we can learn from. Thank you. I tried taking some notes on the early suggestions that you've been saying here as focal points, but I think now we can get to our discussion. If you could go to the next slide, please, Camelia. We have a couple of questions that we would invite you as our ministries to reflect on and tell us a little bit more. Oh, yes, yes. Did I miss someone?
Yeah, I joined the meeting. Dorcas on Hulu. I work for the East African community. I joined the community recently. I have had people introducing themselves from different countries. I seem to be the only one from AREC. But I just wanted to join to get to know, to learn from what countries are doing, because where I am, I'm in charge of 8 countries and coordinate education activities, right from basic education to teacher education. And so I would like to reach out to people who are in this area, people who are doing research, like especially the observatory, the Resilient Research Center, to get to know what research they have, what information they have gathered, so that we can be able to review policies in line with what is happening in the countries. So I'm excited to be in this team to be able to learn from the rest of the members who are here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dorcas, for introducing yourself. And I'm very sorry that I didn't get to you before. I think I might have missed your name. Very happy to have you here. And the EAC is one of our keen partners. Very happy to have you joining us. And we hope that this is the beginning of a new relationship. I think it's on me now to see if I've missed anybody else in the room. Would anyone else like to introduce yourself? I'm very sorry if I've missed you. I do see a couple of other names here now that I'm looking at the chat box. This is a time to unmute if you'd like to say hello to the room before we move on to the discussion. So I see an Mr. Ibrahim, I see an Anthony, an Agnes, Damali, a Harriet, and a Julius.
Yes, Marian, that was part of my additional team. Julius, Harriet, Damali, Agnes are part of the team here at Resilient Africa Network, and I requested them to come in and especially to learn more about the broader partnership, so that in the future the synergies, the engagements are much more easier. I don't know if they want to talk about themselves or.
Yeah, really in a second, and thanks very much, the hosts and Dr. Ray for that presentation. My name is Julius Sentong. I work at RAN as the Director for Operations, but I'm also happy to meet and see some familiar faces. Victoria, good to see you. And again, we came to accompany, Dr. Roy as he delivers the pitch, our first pitch to you at this hub. So we're really, really excited to be, engaging with you, and we look forward to sharing our insights, our findings, and and getting feedback from you all. Thank you, and over to Anthony.
Yes, thank you, Julius, and warm afternoon and morning to you all. Yeah, so Anthony Sebageka is my name. So I do also work at the Resilient Africa Network, and I will be, one of the project managers, coordinating project activities across countries. So I'm really excited hearing, and meeting the KIX focal persons. I'm sure we'll be reaching out to you as we, start off our project activities, to get your buy-in and support for our activities, and we'll be happy to share more findings as they emerge along the way. Over to you, Agnes.
Good morning, good evening, colleagues. Nice to meet everyone here. My name is Agnes Nyabigambo. I work for the Resilient Africa Network. I mainly support project management. I'll be happy to learn more what other partners are doing, and to meet you. Over to you, Damali.
Hi, everyone. My name is Damali Sanji. I also work with Dr. Roy, and happy to be here. I'll be supporting the team with project management.
Yes, Marian, that's all from the RAN team.
Dr. Roy, Dr. Maiga, let me take it on from
oh.
Damali. Yes, good morning and good afternoon. My name is Harriet Adong, and I equally work with the Resilient Africa Network, serving the communication and knowledge management docket. Very rich learning from today's engagements, and we look forward to more synergies, but also cross-learning and fertilization, if I may borrow Dr. Maiga's words, for the greater work that we are doing. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Thank you very much, colleagues, for all the introductions, and I'm glad that you had a chance to say hello to the room. This is an intimate meeting, and it's one that I hope we can find ways to connect with later as well, since we do expect to end in about 25, 30 minutes. This is the beginning of connections between the observatory and the hub. Colleagues, so we've heard from a few of our focal points who are here today. This is really your chance to shine. We cannot go on without you. You are the hub. The hub is not UNESCO or UNICEF or the AU or the observatory or GPE. The hub is you. It's the countries, the people who voluntarily take out time from your busy schedules and say that you're going to come together to share something, to learn something, to connect, to form a new partnership, to take away something that is meaningful for your context. It's a tall order, it's a lot, but it's also human. It's people. It's not just an idea, it's not an online connection, it's the people who come together. So this is your chance to tell us a bit more so we can make our work plan for the year a bit more people and country centric to your needs that maybe we already know about, that maybe are not, that you don't see yet, or that you would like to tell us about for the first time. Maybe there's a new need arising. Maybe there's a new issue, or maybe there's a new policy projection, something that's going on that you would like to have some support on this year, or something that you feel we should know about that you can share with the hub. So there's a couple of questions on the screen that I'd like to direct your eyes to that could kickstart a discussion ideally led by you, the focal points that we have. We have Rwanda, we have Kenya, South Sudan, Lesotho, Ethiopia, Malawi. And so number one, what are the main issues that you're addressing, such as in your GPE Compact program? Is there something else that you're addressing, maybe through a new policy? What kind of evidence research, knowledge tools or frameworks or learning opportunities would be useful to you? This is important because we want to know if it's going to be useful to you. So what do you hope to learn this year? Did anything that we said before in our activities strike you as interesting, or were you not seeing something that you would like to see? This is your chance to shape our agenda for the year. And finally, number three, are there any good practices, policies, or research findings that you would like to share with other countries of the hub? So if there's something that you would like to like Malawi, Dr. Simpita said that they're aware that they're being tapped to host South Sudan to learn more about SRGBV, how to prevent school-related gender-based violence. So that's something that Malawi can share. What about the other countries? Everybody is an expert at something. Every country has expertise in one, maybe many areas that can be shared in the hub. So think about, is there anything that you want to like to share with other countries this year? Maybe a new research finding, a new policy, something that you're doing well, that you take pride in. These are the three questions. I would open up to you, our focal points first to comment. Please, over to you. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Even if it's all fine and you just want to say that you're in agreement, that's also fine. At least we can get started with a discussion. So over to you. I'm looking at Rwanda, Kenya, South Sudan, Lesotho, Ethiopia, Malawi, and I see Ethiopia's hand is up. Please, Petros, go right ahead.
Thank you, Maria. If I captured your ideas, just I am to reflect on the major initiatives that we are planning to embark on the coming year or so. So can I go for it? If possible, I will share some points. Is it?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you so much. In that case, in Ethiopia, the areas that we want to collaborate with the hub members is on teacher policy, which is already started in collaboration with UNESCO. And we are talking with UNICEF to work on it so that we'll manage our teacher attraction, teacher development, and teacher governance. And we initiated this based on the knowledge, the experience that we shared from this hub. So I am very thankful in this regard. In addition to the teacher policies, the policy initiatives that we have is continuous professional development program, which we have been doing for the last 2 decades, but not successful to the level expected. So we want to approach it differently. So it's one of the agendas that we want to work on, and we want an advice from the hub members. The other problem is we are in education poverty, we are in crisis. We are expected to reverse this, so we do have special capacity building program where we initiated, we call it in special because We are performing this training while we have a new education and training policy, while we are implementing a new curriculum, and the program is going to be performed in scale to all teachers for 120 hours during their break time. This is the biggest initiative that we are mobilizing resources, finance, and technical support from our educators because it's a skill training. We want experiences from the African Hub again. And the other is we're failing at our national, in our education, the indicator is the national exam. So we believe that failure to work on foundation level is resulting this. So we are initiating a pre-primary teachers development program focusing on foundational level. We believe will help this education poverty that we have in this country. So training strategies, working documents were developed, and then any skill training is also expected from us. This is the sector which is forgotten in our country. Now we believe that not working on foundational level, and we are paying for it. And then the other initiative is using technology for instruction and assessment. We are integrating technology, digital tools in teaching, and we are beginning e-assessment methodologies. So using technologies as an initiative, and the hub can help us a lot in this regard. It is an infant in our country in this regard. Our teachers need a lot of support in terms of technology, so that we are expected to embark on it. And then any country with an experience in using technology can come and help us. And then we are highly challenged by qualified teachers. So we are designing alternative teacher pathway, which is new in our country, that needs buy-in for the policymakers and leaders. We are planning to hire graduates from different fields from the market, provide some education and subject matter courses, including cross-cutting issues, and then making them a teacher. This initiative must be well designed, otherwise it will pollute, worsen the quality that we had, the quality problem that we had in the system. So if any country in Africa has such an experience, we are highly looking for it. And then capacity building for vocational teachers. We said our education is more of theoretical, so that our graduates are not graduates with the appropriate skills. So we're making our curriculum to be vocationalized with indigenous knowledge. Indigenization and vocationalization were the new emerging paradigms in our curriculum. So this in-skill capacity building was there also. They do have the subject matter knowledge. What we are going to do is capacitating them with education courses. And if there is a different approach, modality, used by any of the African 19 hub countries, we also need any support using this platform or individually by sending them the different approaches that they are applying. As I said, in collaboration with UNESCO and UNICEF, we are also embarking on mental health and psychosocial support for conflict-affected areas of Ethiopia. That we have money of this kind. So special considerations for conflict-impacted areas also need this MHPSS program to support teachers, and through teachers, students, and to the community. At the end of the day, we want to create resilient community. The other area is the STEM education for girls and boys, focusing on science. We will reverse our problems. This is the motto that we have. And then the initiatives that I myself participated in the COP was the leadership program that we have. Year-long training schedule we have for existing teachers, leaders, which is in service, and this impacted our schools. Those who go through this training are changing their schools, and then we want to make it in scale again. This can be an experience for others as well. It's not the length of the years that the time that makes critical change, but the focus and the purpose of the training, and then with a strong M&E. Leadership capacity building for aspiring female teachers who want to be leaders is one of the initiatives that we launched here, we initiated here after learning from this platform. I myself insisted this to be in place. So these are some things that we're planning to collaborate with, work with this platform, and some of them can be a lesson for brother countries, sister countries. Thank you, Marianne.
Petros, thank you so much for that. Quite a lot that you've said. I've tried to take notes on what you've mentioned. Some of the areas that Ethiopia is going to be focusing more on this year, the missed opportunities in some areas like the early foundational learning. So interesting. But I might be following up with you about some of this in the coming days as we finalize our work plan. But let me take the chance to call another country to share. I do see that we have in the chat box a comment from a member from Somalia. Abdirizak, sorry if I'm saying it correctly, Ibrahim from the Ministry of Education in Somalia. Would you like to say hello to the room and also share anything that you feel that you'd like to comment on these questions? Yes, Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me? Maybe he's not. Okay, maybe we'll go to someone else in the meantime. So, colleagues, we have about 10 more minutes or so. Yes. Okay. Okay, let's go to somebody else. Petros, I think I'll just ask you to put yourself on mute for a moment. Okay, so colleagues, we have a little bit more time. I'd love to hear more thoughts on these three questions. So maybe from Tanzania, or sorry, not Tanzania, not here today. Maybe from Malawi or Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Lesotho, or Somalia. Any comments on these questions? Anything
yes,
to share?
Mariam, can I come in, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, in Lesotho, I don't know if we are allowed to project. I've got just 1 or 2 slides that can help maybe me to go through it quickly. But in Lesotho,
I think that's possible. If you do it quickly, that's fine.
Yes, yeah, the main activity with us, it's not allowing me to do it, but it's fine. I'll present from what I can see in front of me. The main activity related to GPE compact program is a systems capacity grant that we have received, whereby the main purpose is for us to plan effectively. The emphasis is on gender responsive planning. And we are also using this grant for coordination of the entire ministry's activities, including the GPE funded activities as well. So that is going well. We have reported in November progress, and up until now, there isn't much that has changed from there. But today, as I'm presenting here, we are concluding the BEST project, which is Basic Education Strengthening Project, where we have done quite very well. The project was focused mainly on strengthening education, particularly in the lower secondary schools. We focused on issues such as curriculum development, teachers training, refurbishment of old furniture equipment, including construction of labs and laboratories for some schools. And as well, there we have done quite well when I'm looking at my result framework that I've just presented today. And on multiplier 1, we have also done very well, quite very well. I will show as I go down on my presentation. I remember it's not showing on the side, that we have been able to finance the early childhood education in collaboration with the private sector at home. We contributed, we are the first country actually to unlock the multiplier grant twice, with the private sector leading. We even have a balance from the private sector waiting for communication from GPE for us to have more funding. That is focused mainly on ECE curriculum. Also, is focused on construction of wash facilities, age-appropriate wash facilities for our learners. We're also targeting such issues such as construction and attachment of ECC learning. They call them reception classes. We want to attach them to every primary school because we have seen that direct alignment when they are closer to the primary schools, wherever they are. Now, where we are going, we have just also completed the concept for the Lesotho Adolescent Project, which is under Multiplier 2, whereby now focus is going to be on the lower primary and upper primary, strengthening of education and quality of our entire education system as well is going to be there. And we as well have concluded the concept on systems transformation grant, where we are going to focus rather more on the same activities, but now upgrading it a little bit towards the upper primary and early secondary education level. But in the second question on what we expect out of you, as you can see, we survive through projects funded programs in Lesotho. Therefore, we require a lot of support as far as appreciation or even expertise in dealing in project management is concerned. If we could be exposed to such through training or through maybe peer education that we've been doing throughout the year. We are also would like to be supported, as I've seen. I'm highly grateful that I saw it, that is coming. They're supported in terms of capacity building on teacher education, especially on policy development that I've seen that is being done already, CPD and quality assurance. There is nothing as far as I know that is quality oriented towards our teachers. Our teachers don't compare their performance with anybody, but rather they compare it with themselves. Now, we are also expecting a whole sector approach for sustainability purposes. What we have seen is that one portion of our activities is supported. You will find that there are gaps that appear from other sectors, which were not part of the program as we progress. You would recall the African Union was here with the data challenge, whereby immediately they were able to see that there are other databases that are not integrated into the Ministry of Education and Training databases, including those that are very crucial, such as the age and the identifiers of learners as they progress through the system. Also, we would like a follow-through through key programs and projects. We are key focal persons, but we are also answerable to someone here. For us to convince, to negotiate effectively, it hasn't been that effective in the past years. If we could have some sort of follow-through, maybe by delegation or otherwise, I think we could work very well. And another one is the equitable consideration on direct country support initiatives. We are small countries, our challenge is actually expertise. So in some cases, we find that if we are exposed to competition, such as the very same one that we've just been announced, us having to apply for certain projects, you'll find that it's difficult for us. We don't often be successful because that is where we are lacking in terms of expertise for us to being able to express what we would like to be assisted on succinctly. And then the other area that we would like to be supported on is automation. Our people require training. This is as per the recommendations of the report, of the data challenge report, training on data integration, information system security management, and data visualization. COVID-19 has taught us that we need to have a parallel system to our in-classroom education systems, something that could, should anything happen by way of what we have experienced, at least education is not put at ransom. Now, on the third question, what good practices, policies, research would you like to share with others? I've already said it that we are working closely with the stakeholder groups in Lesotho. Everybody is now focused on improving the quality of education system in Lesotho. Hence why we're able to unlock the grant, the multiplier grant twice. Another one, we highly appreciate the reciprocal knowledge and sharing and exchange programs that we have had. We have had quite a number of them. We have been in Kenya for disability education, whereby the Kenyan group also visited Lesotho, and we are exchanging expertise. We have a plan of action in place that we are following, is implementing very closely. The private sector, there was that intra-country advocacy on early childhood education through Education Loud. There were organizations that were sponsored by GPE for them to be our watchdogs as far as quality is concerned throughout our education system. And their advocacy is actually conducted at the strategic level. And we think so far it's working very well for us. Another one that we are proud of here is a cluster teacher training system. Since we are exposed to budget cuts almost every year, including this very ASM year, which is beginning in April, we have decided to group our teachers according to proximity. Schools that are in the vicinity of others, they come together at our centers. We have centers that are well established around the country, and then we conduct training there, thereby reducing costs related to travel, accommodation, including meals, because those are the areas where they are located sometimes, and it's easier for us to train them, etc., etc. We think those are effective. But we are also eyeing implementation of a 3-tier pathways curriculum that I've been talking about for a long time. At the moment, what is more pronounced in Lesotho is the academic stream. But we want our learners to get to doing more than knowing, because that's what our National Strategic Development Plan is advising us to do. So that would include development of syllabus for the technical and vocational stream in Lesotho. That would require teacher training, intensive teacher training. We do have teachers who are specialists in these areas, but they have not been exposed to training for such a long time. We think majority might have rusted. So that kind of a refresher training that would put them where they are supposed to be. We would also want to capacitate our teacher training institutions for continuity, for sustainability. Often short-term training programs, they run short of people retiring. People are already burnt out. But we think if new teachers, a set of teachers or new cohorts of teachers who are coming in are already equipped with the ongoing curricula that we offer in our secondary schools, we will be squarely aligned as we wish to be. We want to reform our technical and vocational institutions, and that will require massive infrastructure and equipment, as well as capacity building, because as we speak, the TVET institutions normally are not teacher education institutions. Now we have to convert them into being teachers by way of maybe introducing methodology courses for them at the teacher training college, or applying other possible ways of attracting them into our secondary and primary schools. We have already talked about us intending to attach more reception classes to our primary schools. We have attached at least 240 now, but we are aiming to attach this year at least 2,000 if we manage to acquire financing from somewhere. Now, the other issue that we have seen as a big gap or loophole is capacity building of our management teams, including staff. Often we train other people and we totally and absolutely forget about our support staff, our management here. Hence why you will find that there are lapses as far as enforcement, as far as implementation is concerned in the front line, because we have since rested and assumed that people are self-developing themselves, whereas they are absolutely not. There is quite a lot, Marian, that I would like to share as far as the way forward, but for now, I would like to stop here. Marian.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mukube, for that very comprehensive, always so detailed. And please, I think you said you had a couple of slides. If you still want to share those with us, please feel free to. I think it's be a good resource for us. I'm getting a message from Mr. Mabor Tour in South Sudan that he just wasn't able to stay till the end of the meeting. He had a connection problem. I did want to give the priority to the ministries. I think we have two more ministries that haven't shared yet. I think we have a chance to hear from Rwanda, as well as from maybe also from Kenya and from Somalia. I know we're going a little bit over time, but if you would each like to take 1 minute to share any reflections as to these questions, we would greatly appreciate that. So we have Kenya, we have Rwanda, and we have Somalia. Would any of you like to comment on these questions? Thank you.
Sure. So in terms of what are the main issues that the GPE Compact program is supporting the Ministry of Education in Rwanda to address, it's quite cross-cutting, but the main issues is our education management information system. So the GPE Compact the program is helping to further develop the management information systems, just so we have good quality data coming in for strategic planning and decision making. Where the GPE Compact program is also supporting the high priority under the government of Rwanda for enhancing access to pre-primary education. And this includes a myriad of components, but I think the most prominent one I would say is building classrooms for pre-primary children. We currently have a classroom ratio of 106:1, a pupil classroom ratio for pre-primary students. So this is really helping, and we're going to kickstart in the fiscal year of 25-26 to build about 7,000 classrooms. This is together with EU funding, but GPE also has some contribution. What kind of evidence or research? Still under access to pre-primary education, we're trying to understand how do we optimize the building of these classrooms to properly serve the underserved communities. We did a sort of qualitative study sometime last year to understand what are the barriers to pre-primary education enrollment. And one of the maybe outstanding insights we had was that some pre-primary children have to walk 1 hour just to access the nearest school. So we want to be able to use evidence and some sort of GIS mapping to properly plan and optimize the funding from the GPE program to make sure we're building schools where they're most needed. So that would be helpful, but we're also trying to look at how to reduce the inefficiencies currently in our education system. We have a very high repetition rate, especially in lower primary, and this basically kind of manifests into the primary leaving national examinations, where we have a low pass rate. So we want to look at how this repetition, this kind of chronic repetition, is affecting efficiency in the system in terms of resource distribution, but even just learners' progression. Good practices. Okay. I think maybe I'll stop from here, and we can discuss more on good practices next time. I think my 1 minute is up. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you so much. Is it Adia? Sorry, I want to make sure I catch it properly.
Yes, Adia, you said it correctly.
Adia, thank you so much, Adia, for that. So exciting to hear that you're reflecting on the evidence that you found, such as that the children have to walk 1 hour to school, and that can be a huge barrier to them attending in the first place. And how can this inform where you build the schools? That's really exciting to hear about, and would love to know more. And looking forward to Rwanda being more engaged going forward with you. So thank you so much for sharing. This is a chance also for Kenya and Somalia to get involved in the discussion. I know we're going a little bit over time, but it's so important to hear from you too. Anne, would you like to comment on any of these questions? Anne, or
wait.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Actually, I don't have much to say, but I thought maybe I would just register that in Malawi, we have 3 projects that are linked to KIX that are being implemented. We have one on unlocking data initiative, which is done by the University of Malawi in liaison and with support from KIX. We have another one, lifting barriers, educated boys for gender equality. It appears of late there's been that feeling that we may have left boys behind and thereby creating another complication. So this project, Lifting Barriers, Educated Boys for Gender Equality, is done by the University of Malawi with support from KIX. We have another one, Scaling Up Innovative Gender Inclusion and Safeguard Approaches. This one is evidence from Malawi, Uganda, and Ethiopia. It's also a KIX-linked project. The projects are working in close collaboration with the KIX team Malawi and in their steering committee and other committees. We are always there to give guidance. I just also wanted to make a mention that possibly the main areas that maybe we are working close in Malawi include inclusive education. I think on that one we have much attention. The school gender based violence, that one we are doing quite a lot. Continued professional teacher development, CPDs, the Department of Teacher Education and Development, I think, is always on the ground trying to develop the professionalism of teachers. But I also wanted to make a mention that Malawi has just established a teachers council. We didn't have it. So initially everybody could become a teacher as long as maybe you had been to secondary school, you could speak some English, you could teach. But this time around, with the introduction of the teachers council, there is a requirement that all teachers should register. Actually, I think the closing date is the 1st March. And after that, those who already registered have started being licensed. And those in colleges are undergoing a process called indexing. They should already link up with the council by indexing themselves that they are teachers in the making, so that they are already known. And by the time they'll be graduating, then they register, they get licensed. It's something that I think is trying to bring in sanity in the teaching profession. And last, I just wanted to make a mention that Malawi has been issuing certificates for primary school teachers. Now we would want to move towards introduction of diplomas and degrees. We are at an advanced level. I should think where we might need the support of KIX to assist, we should always knock at the doors. Otherwise, there is quite much that we are doing, and we should be learning a lot from the partners as EU colleagues. Thank you very much. I thought I could just mention that one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Sampita. So much to learn from Malawi. Thank you very much. And the mention of the Teacher Council is exciting because we're working on a couple of countries have been requesting to learn more about how to establish and how to improve teacher councils. So the requests are coming from different countries. Zanzibar is one request that we have. So this might be a chance for us to also link with Malawi on good practices in establishing teacher councils with other countries as well. So let's keep that in mind. With that in mind, I know that we're running a little tight on time. This is the last chance for ministry officers here to share. So Anne Nagatia, if you'd like to comment on any of these questions, Mr. Ibrahim, if you want to comment on the perspective of Somalia, how Somalia might be addressing any of these areas, this is your chance. Please feel free. Okay, if we have nothing from Kenya and from Somalia, I think we would have covered all of the ministries who are present today. And I'm aware that South Sudan did not get to share. They had to leave early. And also Tanzania joined, but then had to leave early as well due to another meeting. So we'll be reaching out to them and then to some others who didn't make it to today's meeting for various reasons. Maybe the Zoom link wasn't working for them, like in Sierra Leone. So colleagues, I think we're reaching the end, towards the end of our meeting. But this is maybe one last call. Does anybody in the room who we haven't heard from want to share anything, any reflection on these questions, anything that you've learned today, any action point for yourself?
You did.
It seems like we're all feeling okay, that we have enough to work with. I think I have some notes for myself, and I hope that my colleagues from the KIX Hub also do. We'll be reaching out to some of you to follow up on these points and also refining our work plan and our activities to reflect some of your needs. Could we perhaps go to the next slide, Camelia? I want to end on the note of the invitation tomorrow for the webinar. So as mentioned, we will be having a webinar tomorrow. We're launching a KIX webinar series. It's on CPD and other teacher issues. So the first round that we have are 3 topics in CPD, and the first one will be on how to design and implement effective CPD programs. It's tomorrow. It's at 3 o'clock East African time. Please check your own time zone. And we'd love to have you joining the discussion. We'll be having quite a few speakers there from different organizations. We have the European Union. We have AFTRA. We have ministries of education as well. So please feel free to come tomorrow and share the invitation with your networks as well. We hope to have you soon. Colleagues, I think that's it. I think we're going to say goodbye now, but maybe could we have a group photo first? Could we turn on our cameras just for a moment to say hello, to take a group picture? So good to see everybody. Jaji and others, if you can turn on your cameras, we'll take a quick picture and put this in the article about the meeting. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot. 1,
I'm
2.
failing on my video. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah, I don't
sorry,
know why.
Adia. Sorry to hear that. Petros, do you want to turn on your camera? I know you had it on before. We're taking a quick group picture. Okay, that's all right. We'll just take whoever's here. So on the count of, there he is. Hi, Petros. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, everybody. On behalf of the hub, actually, Victoria, would you like to end? I'm so sorry. I should have called on you. Would you like to say goodbye to the group?
Thank you so much, Marianne. I really want to appreciate the colleagues for all that has been shared and discussed. And I want to thank you so much, Dr. Maiga and your team. It was quite informative for us to learn about your session. And I believe you learned about also what the hub is planning for this coming season. And I was so happy also to hear from our focal points and so many great plans that are coming through. We look forward to supporting you, really. And I want to thank so much my colleagues too from UNICEF and AUC for being present today and for the partnership. We look forward to more collaboration, and thanks to all of the new focal points that have joined us. And I'm so happy also to have someone from ESC. It was quite a beautiful surprise for us. So thank you so much for joining us here. I want to wish you all a beautiful day and afternoon and morning from wherever you've been connecting from. May you have a great, great time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.